Let's give a big round of applause. Rose McIver, everybody. There she is. Oh, I have two bad sides, so.
Perfect. Well, a perfect match.
Well, we're so excited to have you here. This is so much fun. You know, these conventions, they mean a lot to all of us.
Oh, me too.
And,
Thank you for having me, you guys. I really appreciate it.
It's just got to be fun just to get loved on all weekend.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Great
I mean,
stuff.
the fact that people have cared about the projects I've been a part of, and for us, like, it's a vortex when you film and you're so sort of trapped in just the people you're working with and the scripts, and then when you get to come out and actually meet the fans and the people that give us all a job, we're very grateful, so thank you.
Yeah. Well, Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays are always a little bit different in their own way, and you know, the Fridays are usually a little bit more low-key. Saturdays are when all the crazy costumes come out. What have you seen so far that you love?
I just had a little guy in a, I think it was like a Spider-Man costume come up to me, but his eyes were sitting really like low. They had kind of slipped. They had these laser eyes that had like slipped inside, and they were coming. That was quite chilling, actually. That was good.
Love it. And you haven't really been in this area too much, right? You've been here once, I think. Before?
Yeah, only to Dallas once for the convention about 5 years ago, and I had a really great time. But it's so fast, you know. You come in and it's like 2 nights, and I get to meet all these lovely people, but I don't really get to explore the area. So I'm looking forward to coming back when I have a bit more time to check out what's around. I see it's the 50th birthday of Las Colinas right today, or this weekend. Is it? Yeah, I saw like fire. There's like trees lit up everywhere and everything, so that was impressive.
But where's the cake? I'm gonna order it.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll sniff it out.
Yeah. Well, you know, the actor's journey is a really, really interesting one because it's just full of ups, downs, and you know, it's when we grow up, we look at the TV screen or the movie screen and we think that's what I want to do, but it's so hard, right? But then somehow with a lot of great talent, good luck, good timing, you know, and good choices, you do what you do, which is just such a cool thing. Do we have any aspiring actors out here? Have a show of hands? Anybody
cool.
wants to do this stuff? All right.
And you guys. Oh, very cool.
And when did you first realize that this is what I want to do?
I feel like I've been very, very lucky. There's definitely been some quiet spells when I moved out to the States and, you know, taking a million other jobs and figuring it out. But I mean, I have a lot of friends who are incredibly talented who haven't had the same opportunities, and so I really think it's a lot of perseverance. That's my biggest thing, is like, it's a numbers game. You can put down so many auditions and really never know when and why it's going to land. Like, I feel like some of the best work I've done has been in auditions that I haven't booked. It's you don't know, like, you don't know who and what people are looking for and why. So it's really tenacity, I think, is a big thing. If you're interested in pursuing acting and creating your own work, I really recommend now, because you don't have to sit and wait for the phone to ring the same way. You can actually generate your own material that people see, and I know a number of people who've built careers off that. So yeah, it's I guess I was like, I worked as a child, but it wasn't really work. It was like, you know, a couple of days in my school holidays every now and then. I got to be on parts of various shows that we call the Swords and Sandals shows that filmed in New Zealand. A lot of sort of ancient Greek, ancient Roman kind of content. And yeah, I guess I enjoyed it then, but it's only ever been like high school. I was doing a little bit more. I always sort of fantasized about doing other jobs as well, and kind of it just being a part of my life. And then yeah, I've been very fortunate that it's been as consistent as it has. So yeah, every time that I'm like, this could all go away, you know. So I think it's important to also keep other avenues open, and just so that you have something to bring to your work as an actor. It can be very important to, like, yeah, pursue other interests, I think. So you're not just across like the trades and what's happening in this industry, but like really engaging with the people that you meet in your life and hearing their stories and learning to sort of empathize with a whole lot of really different perspectives. That informs your work as an actor. So not getting too single-minded about acting being the only thing that matters.
And it's especially admirable being halfway across the world. It's not like, oh, we'll just go to LA and see what happens. It takes a big leap of faith too. Sort of, I guess, like I co-host a show with one of our Dallas Cowboys greats, Drew Pearson, caught the Hail Mary, went to the Hall of Fame. We're so proud of him. Go Cowboys. And on the show, we love to ask people their Hail Mary moment, which is that moment in your life or career. You just had to go for it. And it worked out for you. So what do you suppose that was for you? Without being certain.
I'll get cryptic.
Yes.
No, I think the move, committing to a move to America was a really big part of it for me. I had worked in New Zealand. We have a lot of American and British content that particularly American, that comes to film in New Zealand. So I built some relationships. I kind of knew some producers and people out here, but I worked on a film that shot in Pennsylvania for 3 months when I was 19, and that was my first time like working and being based out here. And after that, I kind of had to have that moment of like, I went back to university initially. I sort of tried to study other things. I kept just being lured back into acting, and there'd be some interesting audition and they'd say it would make a big difference if you were in LA and if you could meet the directors. And so at a certain point, I just I rolled the dice and I kind of got on a plane and tried to be based out there for a little bit. And it was a lot of back and forth, but that was when I was probably 23. I think I really started coming out here, and I'm 35 now, so it's sort of crept up. I never thought of myself as really moving to the States, but if you look at my passport stamps for the last 13 years or whatever it's been, 12 years, there's been a lot more US time than anywhere else.
Yeah. Well, and part of that is kind of, as creative types, we're notoriously hard on ourselves. And so is there something that you kind of keep in mind that keeps you on that right path, even when things get tough?
My family are very, very important to me. Like my mum and dad back in New Zealand, and my brother and my husband's family are in Australia, and we feel very anchored to them in a lot of ways. And having their support and their, I think it would have been very easy for, especially my mum, to be like, oh, I wish you were at home, or for them to be like, no, it's way more important to us that you're happy in your life. We are so lucky with FaceTime and all these things that we can talk all the time, and I go back to visit a lot, but with their encouragement and support, I think I find that almost impossible to have done without having them kind of really believing that this is the thing that makes me really happy, and that my family will never not be a priority to me. They've never felt risked like that. So I think that support has definitely made it possible. Yeah.
And then we've had this list of questions. They're kind of fun because we usually never get to these kind of things, and just to kind of get to know some of your fun life stuff. But what was your most memorable audition?
There's nothing worse than auditioning for a horror film where you don't know the lines properly. It's the hardest audition you'll ever do because it's so atmospheric, and it really has to be about how you feel in the room and, responding. And if you drop a line and you're looking down, oh God, I was supposed to notice that person, and then you're suddenly scared. It's just, it's a particularly awkward audition to do when you don't have your lines learned. So I had a really, really shocking horror audition when it's horrifying to me to think that tape is out there somewhere. I think that could keep me unemployed for a very long time if that ever surfaced.
So what kind of things do you like to do in your free time when you're not doing all this stuff?
I am very lucky that I'm a good hobbyist. Like I have lots of things. I never get bored. I read, I sew, I knit, I crochet. Do I have any crocheters out here? I normally find a few at conventions. Woohoo! Yeah. I embroider. I do all these things are like moving meditations that are very good for quite an obsessive brain. So I keep pretty busy with them. I've got a huge stash of wool right now at home that I keep buying more wool without actually finishing the projects that I start. So it's not entirely healthy, I think, my outlets, but it's good, it's fun.
Did anyone expect that? I don't know, maybe. We have more crocheters here than aspiring actors. So.
Yeah, exactly. I know my audience. Like, I found my people when I come to conventions, and it's crocheting. Gardening is the other thing I'm into. Do anybody here into gardening? Yeah. Yeah, it's great. It's good fun. Look at all, oh my gosh, look at your cool ears popping out in your hair, from your hair. That's so cute. Yeah, there's a lot of creative people in these conventions. I mean, you can see it in the costumes, you can see it in everything, but I'm not surprised it overlaps into crafts.
Except now I'm sad because I'm like, well, what do? I can't cook, I can't draw, I can do stick figures, that's about it.
Do you play an instrument?
Yes, I do.
There you go.
Play guitar.
Guitar, yeah, that's great.
And so, I was going to ask about what kind of movies you've been watching. Well, I guess you're not on them, so
Yeah.
like what have you been enjoying on TV? Or?
Well, I've been watching. I've talked to a couple of people today. I'm not sure if anybody here will have heard me rant already, but the survivalist shows like Alone and Naked and Afraid, and oh god, I've gone kind of deep into a vortex. We have a little puppy that we got this year who's just my. That's what I do in my free time, really. But she only likes to sit still when we're sitting on the couch. Like if I'm doing anything, moving around, she's like just a little shadow that comes. So I finally am having to kind of sit and actually just be a bit still. We found these survivalist shows, and she loves them too. She loves like when there's any animals that pop up, she just like loses it. Yeah, so it's been good fun.
What kind of dog?
She's a mix. She's mainly like a bit of mini schnauzer. We did the DNA test and it said she was 30% super mutt, which seemed like a cop out. I'm like, yeah, that's just she's a mix. I knew that. Like, why did I just send in her saliva? Like, but she's very, very sweet, very naughty. But yeah, we love her.
We have a lot of dog people here. Yeah, even more than crocheters. That's great.
Yeah, I told you I found my people here.
So, who was your childhood hero?
Childhood hero. I kind of. There's a lot of people I looked up to. I was very fortunate in my childhood to have a lot of really good role models. But one person who stands out is there's a woman called Pat Quirk who was my chaperone and my tutor on set when I used to go as a kid. And you know, I don't know if any of you know children who've been on sets, but it's a vulnerable environment, and it's really special to have somebody who was such an incredible advocate for me. And she was like. She made me love teachers. I admire teachers so much. She just could read me amazingly. Like if I was losing attention or if I was struggling with something, the attunement and the passion she had for like helping children learn was just so inspiring. So I saw her this year when I was home. I look up to her a lot, and she had this like nice energy that I've tried to model myself on set, where it's like very professional, very kind, but it's stubborn. Like to be accommodating and be as supportive as you possibly can, but have like a bottom line of what is and isn't okay. And I really admire that in her, and she does it without unnecessarily ruffling feathers or creating a scene, but just looking out and protecting yourself and protecting the people who need it. So I tried to base kind of some of my work personality, I guess, on her. And yeah, I think like unsung heroes, teachers in general. So we all need them. Yeah. To teachers. Any teachers here? Yeah. Thank you so much. Really, I'm in awe. I am in awe, and I just wish we were celebrating you guys more in every way. All the time.
Thank you.
Yes. You guys ever go back to your old teachers and be like, see, that turned out all right, right?
You've got to go back to the ones who hated you and be like, yeah, you were wrong. I turned out all right-ish.
So do you ever get to buy anything at the shows? Is there anything you collect like that?
Oh my gosh, the creativity of these vendors is incredible to me. Especially if there's a show leading up to Christmas, I end up getting like, probably still a month out from being particularly organised on that front, but when I've gone like in the short lead up to Christmas to a convention, I just get all of my nieces and nephews presents, and I love the art. Like I love the little key rings. I love the little hand. I mean, being somebody who does crafts myself, like I really admire that, and I know the time and energy it takes to go into handmade stuff. The earrings, I've seen so many beautiful little earrings that people make. So yeah, I have to have a good look around while I'm here.
What would you dress up as if you were going to go out in costume out here?
Oh, so I'm doing Halloween coming up. My nephews, who I'm going to see in New York, they had all these suggestions for me that were all, they just sounded very complicated to make and wear and uncomfortable, a lot of them, and I'm definitely a creature of comfort. And I think they're devastated to hear that I found a bee costume. It's not even like from one of their favourite shows or something. I was like, I'm just going to be a bee, and it was just this like loose black and yellow kind of comfy. It just looks like I could wear it with flat shoes and walk around the neighbourhood. And I think they're just fuming right now. But I'll be the useless auntie. And they wanted my husband to be a two-headed some creature, and he was like, okay, cool. What about like if it has one head instead? They were just like, you guys are the worst at Halloween ever, just phoning it in. So I think, yeah, if anybody has any good creative suggestions that are not too high maintenance, I would be very open.
Is there anybody that you would stand in line to meet and take a picture with?
Yeah, who did I like? Growing up, I feel like, I mean, I've been really lucky. I've been able to meet some of the people who I really admire, and maybe just because I was a Kiwi, young woman growing up there, I looked at like Lucy Lawless and Melanie Linsky and these actresses who, like Keisha Castle Hughes is another friend of mine, just people who had kind of left our tiny little island and gone and done something really exciting, and then brought a lot of their enthusiasm and creativity and stuff back home too. So yeah, those people I really admire. Who else would I really line up for? I like probably musicians a lot too, like Joni Mitchell. Oh my god, if Joni Mitchell did a convention, I would be. I just heard she's been doing these pop-up shows like with Brandy Carr. I'm like, what? I'd love to get to meet her.
It would be cool if we had a convention like this, but for like musicians that we all love, right? I need to put that in the suggestion box somewhere, wherever that is.
I think there's like comedy cons. They do those, right? Yeah, like yeah. Come on, there's gotta be music ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if you ever run across another actor or actress that you've admired, or director or producer, is like, oh, I love your show, or
this is so funny. It's funny because the person would never remember it now. Like he would not have a clue. But when I was in this film, it was a tragic. It was based on a novel, a very tragic story. It was not a genre show, not stylized or anything. Anyway, but I was really excited because Steve Buscemi was at the premiere. And I think he was just being nice, but he was like, I really liked your work in that. And I was like, oh my god, Steve. He would never even remember the project now. Like, it was 15 years ago, but oh man, at the time that was pretty cool. I mean, I'm such a fan of his.
Here's an interesting one we didn't get to yesterday. If you're stranded on a desert island, what are 3 things you would bring with you?
Wool. Can I make one of them like a knitting bag? So that, because otherwise I'm using it up on wool needles. A knitting supply bag. I guess like, having watched Naked and Afraid and stuff, maybe like a knife or something to like peel things, and that might be practical. And a water filter. Those are my 2 practical ones, but the wool is honestly the thing that would get used the most.
Just picturing in my head, someone bringing wool onto an island. It's great. So if there's someone you could have dinner with, living or deceased, who do you think that would be?
I'd like to have dinner with Phoebe Waller-Bridge. God, wouldn't that be good? I'd just love to, I think she'd just be a great dinner conversation. Like, you probably wouldn't want to talk about her work or anything like that, but I just feel like you could be entertained by her, and I love the way her brain works, and yeah, I'd be mute sitting there just like really shy, out of my depth, and just get to enjoy the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, look at this. There's a this or that game. So let's see. Summer or winter?
Oh man, I really hate this game because I'm very good at saying like, I love this about summer and I love this about winter.
Your summers and winters are different than Texas.
Yeah, can I take a New Zealand summer? I'll take a New Zealand summer, not a Texas summer. I'm too lightweight for the heat.
How about novel or comic book?
Novel, I'm a big reader, yeah.
All right, let's see. Bad haircut or bad dye job?
Both, all the time. I can't keep up. That's what hairdressers are for on set. They fix it all.
Werewolves or vampires?
Vampires.
Play or musical?
Play.
Okay. Art museum or history museum?
Art museum.
Okay. Cooking or being cooked for?
Being cooked for. I'm a terrible cook, and I really care. Like, I want to be good. It's not like I'm that person who's just never had a go. It's just it takes me like 14 hours to try to make anything, and I never get the timing right. Like every now and then, like some meal will work out, and I'll be like, oh my god, I did it, and then it'll just never happen again because it's like trying to put it's pure luck. It's like being an actor. It's like just things have to line up in this insane way for it to work out at the right moment, and I can't plan it. Yeah.
If you could burn water, I would.
Yeah.
That's the worst. Okay, board games or video games?
Board games, but I was partial to a bit of Crash Bandicoot as a kid. I love that game.
Like, is it called football or soccer?
Football.
I like these. These are fun. We usually never get to these things.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, what has been your best convention memory so far in all the times that you've been there? Is there something that's been like, you know what, I'm glad I did these things?
You know, there are always like amazing moments. I feel like I saw a live before. It's so great seeing people dressed up as characters that I've been able to be part of as well, and see kind of, I don't know, see the momentum that project has taken on. That's so special and exciting. But there's also really touching things, like a number of really touching things have happened. Even, I'm not sure if the guest is here at the moment, but somebody who just came and shared with me a photo from when I had met her and her father 6 years ago, maybe even, 6 years ago or something. And he passed away in the last couple of years, and she was talking about, you know, this being something they love to do together, and just it's such a privilege to get to be a part of these meaningful experiences. And I find it really touching, or hearing that some silly comedy show that I've been a part of has been something that somebody's used as comfort through a really difficult time they've had. It's a total privilege, and I feel lucky when people share those stories with me.
What kind of what are the greatest questions that you get from the fans? Because those are always the best. And again, I'm so sorry we can't.
I really like when fans pitch me ideas that they've had for the characters. Those are some of my favorites. Like when people, think they know how a show should have ended, and sometimes they have great ideas. Like I mean what I say about the creativity in these environments. It's very ripe with ideas, and I really like when people. It's essentially fan fiction when people come up with their own sort of where things could have gone, or that's something I really love when people share.
Mm-hmm. And it's great when you're able to also interact with some of these. The guest list is awesome. There's so many great people here. Is there somebody that you looked on the guest list here and thought, oh, that's great?
Well, what becomes really exciting too is when you've done a few of these conventions and you start seeing friends. You start seeing people that you've met before. So like lovely Michelle Hurd, who is doing such great work right now with the SAG negotiating committee, and to get to see her again. And there's a few people. I'm trying to think who else this weekend. Her husband Garrett's here, which is awesome. And I just met a lovely guy, Iman, who's in a project that I can't talk about. Getting to meet everybody and our wonderful handlers and the people who work here, and we start getting familiar with the transport teams and everybody who makes these conventions possible, because there's so much work and coordination. So shout out to all of to my beautiful handler Kelly, who I get to see a lot, and to a lot of the people who work and volunteer to pull these amazing events together. Just very grateful for them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're grateful for all of you guys. It's just so much fun to go to these things. It's just such a special feeling. Get bummed out when they're done. I'm like, now what? But, we went through a record amount of questions. This is great. It was so much fun, all these cool things. And since we can't ask questions, we want to encourage you to go up to the table. You can ask whatever you want there.
Yeah. I'd love, I'm really happy to talk to people about projects and stuff. It's just obviously in solidarity with the union right now. I just don't want to drop the ball on anything. So I really appreciate everybody's understanding. We're so appreciative of your patience and support this crazy year. So thank you guys, and it's really nice to meet you all.
Yeah. So in a new fun tradition, we'll do a quick selfie with everybody.
I'd love that. Yeah.
Bunch in together, and then we'll give her big Texas a round of applause after that. But let's bunch in. Let's do a big family photo, everybody.
Appreciate it.
All right. Everybody in. Ready? This is good. Oh, everybody. Yeah. Come on in. See, this is cool. Now we can do this again because. All right, guys, ready? See, big on my PRs. All right, everybody. 1, 2, 3. Go! 1, 2, 3. All right, thank you guys so much. Big Texas round of applause.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And thank you guys so much for coming. Appreciate it.